Hello, fifth graders.
Hello.
Welcome back to the TV classroom. We're going to check in with our zones before we get started.
Yeah, let's do
It's
that.
important. How are you, Miss Oslin?
I'm in the... I'm mostly in the green zone.
Mm-hmm.
My brain and my emotions are in the green zone. Physically, I'm hungry. So would that be the blue zone?
I don't know. It depends on how it's
Yeah.
making you feel.
Yeah, it's making me feel like I'm moving slowly. So yeah,
So,
I
yeah,
would say blue zone.
blue zone.
Mm-hmm. How are you?
Blue zone.
Yeah.
Tired, have a headache,
Mm-hmm.
hungry.
Yep.
Not focused.
Okay.
Because my brain's like, "Whoa, I don't want to do it anymore.
I know. We've
It's
done a lot
tired.
today.
I need to eat.
Okay.
So, blue
That's a
zone.
problem.
But
That's a
I'll be
problem we
all
can solve.
We can after the lesson. Mr. Kevin, how are you today?
Same-o.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Lots of blue around here
We're going to
today.
try to
Lots of
have
blue.
some pep in our step.
Yep. We have
Okay.
an interesting...
Some pep or pepperoni?
We have an interesting lesson today.
We do.
Before we begin, though, let's do our 3 personal standards.
Today and every day, we agree to
Show respect, make good decisions, and solve problems. One way we can show respect is by honoring our indigenous lands and peoples.
So I am going to invite you to look outside the window. Look at the sky, the trees, your surroundings. Our physical space stands on the unceded land of the Coast Salish people. We acknowledge the Coast Salish community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We make this acknowledgement as part of our work to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and white supremacy. We talked last time about the importance of recognizing that this land that we're on is not ours and that it was taken from the Coast Salish people.
Yep.
By the settlers during colonialism.
Yep. It was taken. They came in and took over and said, nope, this is my land now. Which now we know was not the right way to be in community with people and was very wrong.
Right. So we're going to continue to learn about that and learn about the history and the culture of our indigenous peoples and the land on which we stand.
And I would invite you, if this is something that you're going, I want to know more, I'm going to invite you to talk with the people around you and maybe start doing some of your own research about what happened and why it's important that we do this.
I'm definitely going to be doing that.
Oh, me too.
A lot of research.
Me too.
Okay, back into our scientific process.
Oh, it's the best graphic. I say that every time, but
You
I
do.
really love it. Because it really just shows that science never stops. It just keeps going around and around and around. And you have more questions, you make more observations, you do more things. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Oh, dear.
We spent a lot
Sorry,
of time
friends.
during our unit on salmon in the Salish Sea making observations and asking questions and sharing data and reading and learning about science and science discoveries.
We did.
We've come up with some explanations. We've definitely interpreted observations, revisited what we thought we knew, and gathered more data from a lot of experts who have helped us throughout this unit.
We're starting to slide into this blue zone just a little bit.
This is where we are kind of satisfying some curiosity, answering some questions. And today we're going to think about, so what?
Right.
What are we as humans and what is our impact?
And is it okay? Is it not okay?
Yeah,
Why?
do some analyzing. Ooh, okay.
This
We
is a
have
good one.
an observation chart for you today.
Take about a minute. What do you notice? What do you think? What do you wonder? Okay. Might have been less than a minute, but
That's okay.
oh,
I
thinking.
noticed that this is titled Washington State Dams.
What's a dam?
Well, that was kind of my wondering, is I can think of a couple different, where there's like a beaver dam, where
Mhm.
a beaver will build a lodge and block the flow of a river.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that there's man-made dams
Mm-hmm.
that also are built to block the flow of a river.
I wonder if it matters.
I wonder.
And I'm wondering if this is a map of both of those things or just one of those things.
That was my wondering.
I'm also noticing that there's a lot of them right in the estuaries that go into the lands.
Mm-hmm.
And that has me wondering on the impact that has on salmon.
Mm-hmm. Because our salmon, that's how our salmon enter the streams.
Right. And if, like, look at all of the dams they have to travel up.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Kevin?
So I was going to say, my observation is, yes, there are a lot of dams. And I know, though, being a lifelong resident of Washington,
Mhm.
some of those dams are there to create a reservoir of drinking water for the people who live in that area.
We're going to get into that. You're ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Like, why so many dams?
Why?
so many
Why do we
dams?
have so many dams? What is the purpose? If they are really harming our salmon population, why have them? And should we have them?
I also noticed in the lower part, it says Dam Safety Office,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
there's a
that would
safety
tell me
office.
that would be man-made dams.
Mm-hmm.
man-made dams.
All right.
That's a lot of dams.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So, dams have an impact on salmon.
We learned about it in our game too, right? Like they got lost in the fish ladder. They lost their way. They went into the wrong river.
So, why are salmon so important to the Salish Sea that we need to be thinking about dam safety?
We know that they're a huge part of the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
They travel between the freshwater and the saltwater. They're a food source for many of our large mammals.
Mm-hmm.
Our killer whales, they're like
Mhm.
our local killer whales, the ones that live here.
Mm-hmm.
That is their only food source.
They also are a huge part of the cultural heritage of
Oh,
our
yes.
First Nations and our indigenous populations.
They really are. And they're a food source for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important.
So,
It's time for that special thing.
let's review some of
Oh.
the things that we have learned.
It's time for the
Big Science Word!
We've learned a lot.
Still going back
Mr.
there.
Kevin. Oh, Miss Osmond, you know what I'm thinking about?
What?
No, never mind. That
Okay.
was the lesson before.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Sorry, friends.
We'll have a
I was
private
thinking.
conversation.
I was thinking about the sound. The wah wah wah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were gonna try to find a
Oh.
ding ding ding,
Oh,
but then you
we-
lost the game.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Oslin.
Mwah,
Okay, Miss Oslin, just for you.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay.
You're a winner.
Yes.
Big science words. Interdependent.
Interdependent.
When two or more things need each other.
Intertidal zone, the shore area exposed between high tide and low tide.
Oh, those poor creatures.
Mhm.
The habitat.
Mm.
The natural environment of a plant or animal.
Conservation, the act of keeping and protecting from waste, loss, or destruction.
Migrate. The act of moving from one region to another.
Ecosystem, a community of living things together with their environment.
It's the living things and the environment.
Mhm.
And incubate, to keep warm until it's time to hatch. So we want to go back and talk about dams.
Mhm.
What do you think you know about these dams in the Pacific Northwest? And what do you want to know about them? Take a minute. Write it down. Okay, Miss Oslin.
Yes. I think I know that man-made dams or human-made dams would only be there if we needed them to be there. Either they provide drinking water in forming a reservoir, or I think I know they're also connected to hydropower.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know that in the past they've made dams to create lakes
Mm.
for recreation,
Mm-hmm.
which would not be a need. That would be a want.
Mm-hmm. I want to know about the process for like approving a dam.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone decides they want to build it. What is that? Is there an environmental impact study that they have to do?
And I want to know, now that we have some research about salmon
Mm-hmm.
and about how important they are, and that we know that dams can be harmful to them,
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing about it?
Mm.
Yes, Mr. Kevin?
And I would like to know how many of the dams in our state were constructed before there was things like environmental impact studies.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And how many of them are no longer in use? I know that they've done some. I think I know they've done some work on removing some of the dams that are not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have an article to read.
Yeah.
Let's read. Salmon of the West. Why are salmon in trouble?
Yes, this came from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So we know that this is a reputable source
Yep.
from which we are getting some information.
Mhm.
We're going to read this article, and then we're going to watch a video. And your job is to be thinking about how these two texts, these two medias, are similar or how they're different.
And you're going to be needing in your assignment to be answering this question. Should we have dams?
Whew.
Why or why not? So be thinking about the evidence you can collect for your viewpoint. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. You don't have to know your viewpoint yet,
No.
but be thinking about it, collecting evidence for and against,
Mhm.
so that you can write an opinion piece about why you think that we should or should not have dams in Washington State.
Why or why not?
Why are salmon in trouble? Dams.
Mm.
Mhm. Dams are probably the most publicized problem for salmon. Dams can block or impede migration and have created deep pools of water that in some cases have inundated important spawning habitat or blocked access to it. Dams also change the character of rivers, creating slow-moving, warm water pools that are ideal for predators of salmon. Low water velocities in large reservoirs can delay salmon migration and expose fish to high water temperatures and disease.
Wow. They give us so many reasons.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
one, it can stop them from spawning, like it
Mhm.
completely blocks them sometimes.
Yep.
So that's not good for the salmon population.
It creates pools of water that have inundated important
It
spawning
changes
habitat.
the habitat. They actually change the habitat. That's not good to change the habitat in a manufactured way. If it naturally changes, that's fine. But
Yeah.
for us to go and influence and change it,
Mhm.
that's not a good thing.
It changes the rivers so that they're not as fast moving and they're warm. And we learned
So important.
salmon need that cool water. Otherwise, they get cooked.
And I'm wondering if maybe other animals need that cool water too, and what other animals does that impact?
It's good for the predators of salmon.
Right, but some of them,
Things get out of balance.
it makes an out of balance problem.
Mhm.
Is there more to this article, Ms. Housen?
There is. Maybe. There we go.
Many things have been done to reduce the impacts of dams on fish. Fish passage facilities and fish ladders have been developed to help the juvenile and adult fish migrate around many dams. Spilling water at dams over the spillway is an effective means of safely passing juvenile fish downstream because it avoids sending the fish through turbines. Water releases from upstream storage reservoirs have been, did I miss something?
No.
No, you're good.
Okay, water releases from upstream storage reservoirs have been used to increase water velocities and to reduce water temperature in order to improve migration conditions through reservoirs. Juvenile fish are also collected and transported downstream in barges and trucks.
So it sounds like they're recognizing
They are,
and have some ways of mitigating the damage.
but I don't think it mitigates it completely because we're still humans interacting with nature. And what impacts does putting them in a barge and like moving them have
On
and
the air
on
pollution,
right?
water pollution.
So then we add more pollution to kill more salmon. Like that's frustrating. Many other solutions to the problems that dams pose have been suggested, including removing them.
Oh, you talked about that.
A number of small dams in the Pacific Northwest that block salmon migration have been removed or are being considered for removal. The removal of larger hydraulic dams, such as those in the lower Snake River, has been very controversial and currently is not being considered as an option.
It was hydroelectric.
Did I say what I say?
Hydraulic.
Sorry,
No, that's okay.
hydroelectric.
That's using the energy of water to create electricity.
So, but these
Why is it
fish are so
controversial to
important.
remove those?
I don't know.
Oh, probably because we're using the hydroelectric energy.
But we can get electric energy. I mean, I don't know. What's more important? Let's watch another video.
Let's do it. Okay.
Watch
here
this
I go.
video. So right now I'm feeling like we should just remove the dams and figure out something else. Let's not impact the wildlife, and let's figure out a different way to get our needs met.
And while Mrs. Oslin is getting that video ready, one thing I was just thinking of, Mrs. Wally, is we can't remove the dams all at once.
No, that would be so bad.
Wow!
Because all the water would come flying around, right? That would be really detrimental. So they have to be careful how they do it.
Yeah.
But those really big ones are the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really impacts, like if you've seen Grand Coulee Dam, really impacts the fish's ability to get where it needs to go.
And here's a secret. I'm going to visit Grand Coulee Dam this July.
Oh, cool.
Ooh,
Yeah, we're going to go
exciting.
up there, see the dam, hike around, spend about a week in that area.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, even though I've lived here all my life.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
It's a really
maybe
interesting area.
I'll make a report.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right, let's watch this video and see if it helps us confirm our thinking or change our thinking about if we think we should have dams on the rivers in Washington State.
So our previous text, the source was the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and this is from the Bureau of Reclamation.
So it says, do you want to pause it really quick? It says, I was going to read out loud for those who couldn't quite see it that quick. So Reclamation is the largest wholesale water supplier and the second largest producer of hydroelectric power in the United States, which operates in my brain's tired, friends, with operations and facilities in the 17 western states. Its facilities also provide substantial flood control, recreation, and fish and wildlife benefits.
Oh, so our previous source was coming from the lens of fish and wildlife, specifically like
Protection
protecting.
of the fish and wildlife.
This source has a different agenda.
This source is coming from the people making power and selling it.
So thinking about hydroelectric power and why we have hydroelectric power as opposed to continuing to burn fossil fuels.
Right, it's a
For
clean
power.
energy source. But is it? Because it
Oh my gosh.
it impacts the salmon and the wildlife.
I'm-
But it's it's a huge power source for the Western United States.
Yes.
It's how we get most of our power.
And they also say that its facilities provide substantial
Flood.
fish and wildlife benefits.
So I'm wondering what they think the benefits are.
Yeah. Mr. Kevin?
Microphone was off. I was just interested that the U.S. Bureau of, what is it?
Reclamation.
Reclamation. Okay, I was right in my mind. U.S. Bureau of Reclamation and the Department of Ecology are both entities of the same government.
Uh-huh.
So we have parts of the government that don't agree with one another.
And it's okay
Yeah.
Yeah.
because conflict is normal.
We need a multitude of perspectives.
Because people believe different things. And it's okay to feel differently as long as you have reason to back it up and you're respectful about it.
And you're open to change your thinking as you learn more.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's learn some more and let's see this group of people's point of view. Beautiful. This is in California.
Folsom Dam, that's also in
Look
California.
at that big dam. So now we're going to see some pictures of some dams, which might help you understand the impact of them. Arkansas River, Colorado. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Davis Dam. See how it holds the water?
Ooh, the
Wyoming.
Teton Mountains in Wyoming.
Oh, beautiful. Fish.
Shasta Dam.
Hmm. The West Main Canal in Arizona, that provides water to, it diverts water to all the farmlands. Ooh, transmission lines. So those dams, oh, I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay.
Those dams that we were seeing were, oh, this is on the Entiat River. They're restoring it. They're giving power to those power lines and water to the farmers to produce our crops.
Oh, this is a conservation area in Arizona.
This is in Colorado. We're getting power, we're getting water to our crops so we can have agriculture. What, like,
Farming in Idaho. We need food to
we
eat.
have to have food to eat. We need to have, look, going on the river for fun.
That's an industry.
It is. The Grand Coulee plant in Washington. The water is running and moving those turbines and it's creating electricity. Power transmission lines from that hydroelectric power so we can turn on the lights and cook our food. They're showing us all these rivers that have dams on them and then showing us the dam. This one's in Utah. Look at that. Whoa. But there's another canal that is redirecting some of this water. Imagine if a fish got caught in that canal. But then that water is watering all of our crops.
This one's in Cleellum.
Right on Lake Cleellum.
People fishing in that reservoir.
And I wonder the impact of these reservoirs on the land.
I was just thinking about like flood control. That
And
it
how
mentioned.
it can stop flooding from happening. So it gives us power. It can stop flooding from happening. It provides us with recreation. It provides us with water to water our crops so we can eat and have a crop industry and farming industry. It provides us water to drink so we can live and survive.
Ooh, dairy industry. You
Yeah.
wouldn't about that. That's big in Washington.
Sailboat, you know, the recreation industry is really big in all of these places.
Brings money.
Fishing. It can be recreation or for food. You could do a whole nother opinion paper on that. It's pretty beautiful, isn't it?
It really is.
There's the Grand Coulee. That's what Mr. Kevin's gonna go see. Fun fact, my dad helped restore something with electricity there at some point in his life. The Cascade Reservoir in Idaho. That looks like fun.
Oh, irrigated
Irrigated crops in Arizona. So there we go. More water that was diverted from the dam to irrigate crops.
Water them.
There's the reservoir up top. You can see that's the large standing pools of water they were talking about. Okay, so here's some. You can see a salmon. I think what they're trying to say is the salmon are still here in the water. It's still beautiful.
It
We can
is.
still do beautiful things. There's still wildlife in the water.
There's benefits.
And there's all these benefits to humans.
Mhm.
Do you want to keep going? Do you want to pause it there?
I think we should. This is a good spot to
We can pause.
pause.
So, now what? Do you think dams and developing land close to salmon habitat is an okay thing to do? We don't
Why?
have an answer.
I thought I had one before reading the article and then again before watching the video.
Why do you think so? Or why not? We've given you some really good information. You could also go out and do a little more research for
Mhm.
this. And then you're going to post on Flipgrid. Now, you can write a paper. You know how to do that.
Yep.
You could just talk. Tell us why you think and give us your points. Have some visuals.
Ooh.
You could write a song or a rap.
Or a poem.
You could show it in art.
You could act it out.
Any of those things are acceptable forms of telling us your answer to that question.
Or anything
on
else that you
Flipgrid.
can think of. Now, if you're not comfortable posting
That's
on
okay.
Flipgrid, that's okay. We have 2 other ways that you can send us your thinking.
That's right. Mr. Kevin's going to tell us how.
That's right, 5th graders. You can send us an email to TV Classroom at tacoma.k12.wa.us. And what I know about the TV teachers is they will answer.
Oh, we do.
Oh, you do?
I'm
You- Hmm?
really excited to get responses, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping we get some different perspectives.
Yeah.
Oh, we really enjoy it. Also, you can send us something in the mail to TV Classroom in beautiful downtown Tacoma, 601 South 8th, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Awesome.
And we have already had some 5th graders post on our Flipgrid and send us emails.
Yes, so keep them coming.
Keep them coming. All right. Now it's time for our affirmation. I think we need to.
Go ahead.
No, you go. Something struck you.
It did. I am confident in my convictions.
Ooh, convictions, like how you
Feel about something.
I am confident in my convictions.
Because everyone's going to feel differently about it.
Mhm.
So you have to just be confident in how you feel about it and be able to back that up with real resources
Scientific evidence.
and be respectful
Yeah.
when you debate.
Mhm.
Be confident.
I am confident in my convictions.
Do you like that one? For
I like
us?
that one.
Okay. Because you're going to have to feel convicted either way about this.
Convince me.
Convince us for your reason, because I'm not sure how I feel about it yet.
Mhm.
And I don't think you are either. You're
Uh,
kind of waffling.
yeah.
So your job is to convince us one way or another.
Let's all take a deep breath together and say our affirmation.
I am confident in my convictions.
Excellent job today, 5th graders. We can't wait to see what your convictions are about
Ooh,
dams.
I'm so excited.
We look forward to seeing you back here next time in our TV classroom.
Bye, friends.
1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. You will get bonus points if you find Maui's hook. 5. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 6. Use your math skills to see how many points you can get. Good luck.